All right, let's just get right into it. Every single time you open a news app or listen to a tech keynote or frankly, just chat with a coworker these days, you inevitably hear those two letters, AI. Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm your host, and we are going on a really fast-paced breakdown of tech's absolute biggest buzzword right now. We're going to completely decode the artificial intelligence hierarchy, so you know exactly what's actually going on beneath the surface.
So here's the core misconception we're facing in tech right now. Literally every system gets called AI, but almost none of them are actually the same thing underneath. We're basically using this one giant umbrella label for a ton of radically different technologies. Honestly, if you've ever felt overwhelmed or just kind of confused about what AI actually is, well, this is exactly why. They share the exact same label, but mechanically, they are doing entirely different things.
Section 1, the nested relationship. Let's get into it.
To really grasp what's going on here, I want you to picture a set of those Russian nesting dolls. We're going to start with the biggest, outermost shell, artificial intelligence itself. And notice how we define it here. AI is not some specific line of code. Rather, it's just the broad overall goal of getting machines to do things that normally take human intelligence. That's really it. It's just a massive overarching ambition. So whenever a machine accomplishes a task that makes you think, wow, a human usually has to do that, you are looking at that big outer circle of AI.
All right, let's pop open that first doll and peel back a layer. Inside that massive AI circle, we have a smaller, way more specialized circle. And that is machine learning. And this right here brilliantly illustrates a fundamental shift in how these systems operate. See, machine learning isn't just a broad goal, it is a very specific approach. Instead of a human programmer sitting there writing out explicit rules for the computer to follow, machine learning is all about the system learning patterns from data. The machine basically observes the information and just extracts the patterns all by itself.
Now, let's zoom all the way into the absolute core of our nested circles here. Smaller still, we have deep learning. This is one highly specific technique completely contained within machine learning, which, as we just saw, is contained within AI. Deep learning achieves its pattern recognition by using layered neural networks. It is essentially this highly specialized engine that's driving the absolute innermost circle of our diagram.
Moving on to Section 2, real examples. Okay, so to see how all these concepts actually lock into place in the real world, let's look at a tool you literally use every single day, your email inbox. Right? Before modern systems came along, we relied heavily on rule-based filter logic. This is a really classic example of that big, outer circle of artificial intelligence. Imagine a programmer writing a super explicit rule, something like, if an email contains this specific word, then send it straight to the spam folder. Now, because the computer is doing a task that usually requires human intelligence, sorting through mail, it is technically AI. But look at how rigid that is. It's not learning anything, it's just blindly following the explicit if this, then that rules that some human typed out.
Now, I want you to contrast that older super rigid paradigm with a modern spam filter. It's like night and day. The older rule-based filter is definitely AI, but it is absolutely not machine learning because it relies entirely on those hard-coded explicit rules. The modern filter, on the other hand, doesn't have a static list of words written by a guy in a cubicle. Instead, it was fed millions and millions of examples of emails. It analyzed them, and it learned the underlying patterns completely on its own. I mean, that is a massive leap in technological capability, right? That is machine learning in action.
And that brings us to a really fascinating endpoint today. We have these systems that share the exact same AI label on the box, but they are genuinely entirely different things underneath. A rigid rule-based program and a dynamic machine learning system just operate in completely different universes. So I'm going to leave you with this final kind of provocative thought. If these outer layers operate so differently, what exactly is happening inside that absolute deepest layer? How do those layered neural networks of deep learning actually function? Well, if you want to crack open that final nesting doll with us, comment the letters AI down below if you want deep learning explained next. Thank you so much for checking out this explainer and keep learning.